Well, 2 minutes late. I did plan to start at 7. However, I decided to also make a tea. I wasn't going to, and that's what became the delay because I wasn't going to make a tea. But then the last minute, I thought, no, no, yes, definitely make one. It doesn't have to. It can be an herbal tea. So anyway, I have an herbal tea, and I'm good to go. It's much too hot to drink now. Um, so it's September 11th. Crazy day. Um, it's one of those moments in time that is ingrained in people's memories. They tend to remember exactly where they were. There's other pivotal or very impactful moments in history. I think many people remember where they were when it was announced that Princess Diana was dead as well. So there's pivotal moments in time um, that happen that mark those, and they stay ingrained in your memory. And oftentimes they're attached to songs as well, which is kind of interesting when you consider how powerful music is and how it's manipulated, how it's not in the right frequency. There's lyrics sometimes written underneath, sometimes written backwards. There are, just the level of the lyrics now, they are so they're not fully depraved, but they are definitely way more raunchy, and they're just not, there's, yeah, they've kind of gotten a lot worse over the years. And that's by design, right? That's by the design. The whole process is to try to make us lose touch with our humanity, so then we'll accept whatever is happening to us. And also at the same time, make us feel very much that we're responsible for all kinds of things. They want us to feel a lot of things, actually. The energy is definitely to get us to feel a lot of things. Well, that's not what the focus of the live is going to be about. I decided that I was going to do a teaching about the Aries placement of the moon right now and also the collective energy. So we'll put all of that stuff aside and we'll get on to talking about the sovereign flame, devotion, in motion. So, welcome to the sacred space, beloveds. Tonight we stand in the flame of Aries, the first spark, the igniter, the bold breath of divine motion. The Pisces moon has waned, and now the Aries moon calls us to step forward, not from ego's urgency, but from the oversoul's alignment. If we're going from urgency and we feel like we have to get it done right away, we're not going to be in alignment with the timing of things. And there are times where we have to nurture it. It's kind of the same concept as having a baby. You have to gestate the baby for approximately 9 months and then birth it into the world, a healthy baby. You don't birth it after day one. You don't have the idea and then, conceive it and then birth it all in one go. It has to have that time. And some of the things that are in alignment for us, that's what they need, is they need that timing element. They need that period of gestation. So this is the moment when devotion becomes motion. Because devotion is often mistaken for stillness. And while there is sacredness in silence and rest, devotion is also a rhythm of movement, the kind that rises from the soul and flows through the body. It is not hurried. It is not performance. It is the sacred yes of action aligned with remembrance. So when you get in touch with yourself and who you are, you're aligned with your soul, with your soul's purpose. You allow your body, you allow your energy to tell you what you're going to be doing at a specific time. When to launch something if you're creating something, when to rest, when to meditate, when to say the decrees and to do the invocations, and so on and so forth. There has to be some element of routine that occurs within your life, but there's also got to be an element of flow. And it's not everything needs to be done every single day consistently, all the time. Some things, they are done for a purpose and a reason. And when that's passed on, you just flow with it. And that's how that devotion flows. So with Aries, we are asked, will you move with your vow, not just think it, not just feel it, but embody it? And I know a lot of people who, sit on starting something, and a lot of times there are people who do not get the progress that they want from the things that they've done, because the problem is that they don't embody it. They'll take a course or read a book, but won't do the practical portions that are asked within those readings, or the stuff that they're doing. And I know that because I've had many people take my courses that were extremely successful, and I got the results that I told them that they would get, right? The results were reflected. Anyway, I've also had people where the results were not what they should have been. And it's not because of a failure in teaching it. It's typically the person that is taking the course doesn't embody, it doesn't do the practical skills, because you get out of things what you put into it. And that's, that's the truth of that. So the Virgo sun still watches overhead, inviting discernment, refinement, and rooted clarity. It is not enough to just act. We must act with integrity. And Aries brings the flame to walk the prayer. Virgo is the sign that represents refinement and mastery. Tropical astrology has distorted it so that it is synonymous with perfection and worrying and servitude and all of that. And while Virgo does want to help society and is a humanitarian in that way, Virgos, when it comes to perfectionism, it's more about refinement and mastery. And if they can understand it in that way, anyone that has Virgo in their placements, and then definitely in the major placements, should look at that. Look at refining it and mastering it as opposed to perfection, because that's what perfection really is. It's just mastery. It's not somebody else's ideal or something that someone else is saying. It's not some measurement like that. It's your feelings of mastery, like when you reach that level of mastery. So let's explore, where in your life are you being asked to move from sacred alignment rather than reaction? Right? When we're just reacting to circumstances, when we're like, oh my God, I didn't have enough money right now, I better get something created, I better get something out there. When we're creating from that aspect, right, we're not in our alignment like we think we are. Even if we're creating things that are things that we like or that we think are fantastic. And I've done this where, I poured my heart and soul into my creations, but I've done so creating from a space of urgency or a space of lack in the beginning, for sure, or in that wounded healer energy. And all of those things were just opportunities for me to grow. And that's what we have to take them as. Learn what you can learn, and learn it as quickly as possible so that you move through to the next space of learning, the next experience that you're going to have. All right. So what prayers have lived in your breath for too long that are waiting to be walked? That's a good one. I'm going to have to have some water because my tea is far too hot to drink. I would only be able to go if that. But I have a little bit of a tickle in my throat, so I need to wet it. I haven't drank enough water today. I'm calling myself out on it. So many times we have a fear of success, or a fear of failure, or a limiting belief that we haven't identified yet. Something that's holding us back from doing what we want to do and being completely honest with some of the things that we want to create or the things that we want to speak about. And I know that from firsthand experience. Much of what I've spoken about, even though, I know it to be the truth, it for other people is challenging and they don't resonate with it. You think of somebody that, as we would determine to be in the matrix, they might not look at what I'm talking about and think, oh, she's talking about woo woo, is what they would think, or they have their opinions, right? And lots of people have an opinion, but you just have to keep showing up in your authenticity and being true to you. So is there something that you've been afraid to speak a truth, or something that you've been afraid to embody and bring into reality? Is there something that you've been meaning to create, you've been waiting on? What are your prayers? What are your wishes? Where have you mistaken devotion for waiting when it's actually asking for boldness? When you're completely devoted for something, you get up and you show up. You show up whether anyone else shows up in the room. I've done that for a long time. I show up whether anyone else shows up, because I'm not showing up for you in the sense of something external to me. I'm showing up because I believe in what I'm doing. I believe in what I'm speaking about, and I know that the right person that needs to hear it is going to find it eventually. Maybe not this moment, maybe not watching this live, but maybe, in a week or two, maybe in a month, maybe it could be in 24 hours. It could land right on their feed and be the very thing that they needed to hear, right? It all comes to us in divine timing. So this Aries moon reminds us, you are not waiting for a sign. You are the sign. You are not hoping for power. You are the power. You are not asking for the path. You are the path. The path is unfolding before you with every decision and choice that you make. So make the choices that are aligned with you. Make the choices that feel light. Make the choices that feel grounded. Make the choices that feel expanded. Make the choices that feel good. And as long as you're not hurting anyone else in the process or hurting Mother Earth. So let this fire burn cleanly, not to destroy, but to illuminate the next step. Let this fire purify the hesitation that has masqueraded as caution. And let this fire carry the prayers of Pisces into the practice of Aries. So we have an oracle reflection question, and that is, what action is my soul asking me to take that my mind still resists? All right, so we have an embodiment practice. I'm going to tell you about it, but I'm not going to practice it because it's one where we're going to stand. So you're going to stand tall, placing one hand on your solar plexus. So that's above your umbilical cord, above your belly button, right? The other on your heart, so in the center of your chest, and speak aloud. I am the vow fulfilled. I carry the flame. I walk with clarity. And you're going to walk forward 3 slow steps as long as it's safe to do so. Otherwise, visualize yourself walking. With each step, name an action your soul is calling you into. So now I have your oversoul prayer. Beloved flame of the eternal, ignite me in truth. Let me burn not in haste, but shine in alignment. Move me from remembrance. Anchor me in bold grace. I walk as the vow. I move as the flame. Your activation decree, I am the living vow. I walk as the flame. I do not wait. I remember and I rise. So there you go. I have some more though. Interesting. Where have you hesitated out of fear of being wrong? And where is your soul asking you to act in faith? I have a declaration. I move in devotion. I act in remembrance. I carry the flame with clean hands and a bold heart. And in closing, once again, stand in warrior pose, feet grounded, and speak aloud. I am the living vow. I do not hesitate. I walk as the flame. And there you go. Well, I hope that that recorded well and it's not all choppy. My internet has definitely not been very supportive for my purposes while being here, but I have enjoyed the beautiful access to nature and everything else. And the next place, well, it's definitely going to have better Wi-Fi with the internet speeds that I've been shared. And but anyway, that's still a little ways off. I hope that you enjoyed that. Leave some comments. And if you're looking for more, go check out Anshara'El.com.